ECOWAS member states call on the international community to support sanctions on the perpetrators.
I go school for this business.
The suspension of the Republic of Guinea from all
That's why I don't like this guy. They think there's some game. They tell me I don't want to
I expect to conduct supplementary polls.
Let's go. They look my game. I go just win 9.
Former chairman of the Federation Task Team, back 8 years from money laundering.
I don't talk and finish. Why the talk guys shopping card now?
It is no longer news that some countries in Africa have been under the rule of a particular leader for decades.
And some leaders for one way or the other to perpetually remain in power. And in some cases, they do this by seeking to amend their country's constitution to achieve their desire.
You know they hear that.
The sustenance of democracy on the African continent is being further jeopardized by anti-democratic forces who are truncating the civilian rule.
In the last 1 year alone, democratic rule in at least 5 countries in Africa ran into crisis. This is including Mali, Chad, Sudan, and Guinea, while attempting to the Republic shortly after.
Who down here? I catch you. I see you like that.
There was some time there is military in Mali, Guinea,
So why should someone do
rigging elections or amending their respective constitutions to perpetually remain in power, beginning in usual period, with the whole idea of a third term, which then gets to a fourth term and on and on. And what role should democratic institutions play in the sustenance of democracy on the continent? To what extent will control executive economic induced
One of these days, I'm going to show you stuff I'm made of.
Very soon.
Very soon.
He's lucky because you're the one that contributes. If I'm the one that's good morning, Nigeria, and I'm Kingsley.
Chino, do you know what my problem is? What makes him think that he's the strongest guy in the world? He sees himself as the strongest guy in the world. I will show you guys. I will show you guys.
We also expect to have the Afghan candidate, one of the candidates actually, Professor Chuma Charles Soludo, to join us in the discussion of. All right.
We're having elections.
It will not be normal to have you talk to us this morning before the supplementary election. Perhaps in due course that will take place.
But of course, we'll have our complement segment in the program. This is introduced by the business and others. For now, here's Tessie O'Mary with the morning news. Good morning, Tessie.
Good morning, Kingsley, and good morning, Nigerian. Good morning, Nigeria. Here is the morning news. Following extensive deliberations on the political situation in Guinea and Mali, members of the ECOWAS community and extraordinary committee in Accra, Ghana, maintaining their stand.
Whatever they came to do in this community is none of my business. I'm not even interested. My problem is Samba. You see that Samba?
On perpetrators.
To uphold the suspension of the Republic of Guinea from all ECOWAS government bodies as well as the travel ban and fees of financial assistance imposed. Africa, West Africa, way beyond
Good night. Hey, God. What brings you to my house?
The
Igwe demands your presence immediately at the palace.
I
hope all is well.
Today. INEC promises to improve upon the process due to the challenge experienced during
I'm coming right
the
behind you.
election to deliver credible polls. The support the Electoral Commissioner from Niger State, Professor Sam Egu, disclosed in an exclusive interview with Ngozi Okekaro.
And we are working closely with security agencies to have adequate deployment of security forces to protect the personnel and to protect the materials for the election. We are working on logistics in terms of the movement of personnel. We are also trying to have a full complement of the ad hoc staff.
Meanwhile, INEC has made slight adjustment in the time of voting in the local government supplementary election holding today. Statement by INEC National Commissioner for Information, Festus Okoye, says voting will commence at 10 a.m. and end at 4 p.m. The statement says this decision, which is strictly complied with, has been taken following a careful review of the prevailing situation in Anambra State and has been widely shared with the stakeholders, including security agencies.
Showed me that nothing about it.
Federal High Court Abuja presided over Justice Okon has sentenced former chairman of the defunct pension reform tax team, Abdul Rashid Maina, to 8 years in prison for being found guilty on all counts of laundering charges.
And we are here doing nothing in this village.
By the Economic and Financial Crimes
This is the fourth year after our secondary school.
The judgment has delivered. I expect you were in court and you had no service. Just like we did.
What about the scholarship?
We are going to exercise our client's constitutional right of appeal.
What did our Igwe do?
They
shared it among themselves with his cabinet members.
8 billion naira in its 2022 financial year.
In fact, they don't deserve to be alive today. If they had shared that scholarship by merit, you and I wouldn't have been left out there.
At the budget defense session before the Senate Committee
As you
on
see,
judiciary,
at
human
the
rights
first,
and matters.
If you get what I fit do, I forgot to.
In the
But that strong thunder, now you go fire all of them one by one for red and
I
I
assure
will tell you.
that the nuances of politics do not compromise our justice dispensation. We need your support with adequate funding to achieve these feats.
Federal government has directed security and other relevant agencies to curtail smuggling of rice through land borders. This came before during a discussion between the Minister of Agriculture, Mohammed Abubakar, and Controller General of the Nigerian Customs, Ahmed Ali in Abuja.
Just because I won a game, I've been winning and winning and winning. Obele holding my hand and striking my money with me. I'm going to game and I'm going to
Obele,
standing up to me and me that.
is he mad or something?
He has drawn the battle.
Is he crazy?
And that's the news for now. Good morning, Nigeria. Continues with Kingsley and
Inside that guy,
Thanks for watching.
That's of whom I say. I
The federal government has done a lot on trade unionization. The trade union has created the Abuja Cabinet, and we have 9 stations there, 5 substations and 4 processing stations, making 9. And when we started in 2016, we started with 2 trips, then we later moved on to 8 trips. We are talking about moving to 14 trips a day. And we have been able to send 10 DMUs, 10 coaches, and 2 locomotives new. We have 12 stations in that delegates from about 112 kilometers length of track. And it's over 30 years old. And the women came and picked up, finished the track. So we are aware and the station is working on the signaling also to start the commercial operation by the end of September.
Wednesday, to Saturday, 13th November 2021. Morning session, 7, morning session, 7, evening session, 5, featuring Southwest, Ministers West, Friday 12, Friday 12, 13th November 2021, 7 p.m. at 7 p.m. at the Stadium, Balogun Stadium, don't be told.
We are all Nigerians against child and must remain united. We may have our challenges and our problems. However, together, shall overcome them. What shall make us stronger? This is the mindset that shall bring and prosperity to our beloved. Do not let tribal and religious sentiments govern how you think. Don't be influenced by those who want to destroy national unity. Everybody who is in Nigeria and your brother, and this is the mindset of the union. It is also the mindset that we must all support creating Nigeria of our dreams. This message is from the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Well, thank you for staying with Nigeria. Now, let's talk African Export Bank awards $400,000 in grant funding to the National for Pharmaceutical Research and Development. Details on business needs with Comfort Amodu.
Pharmaceutical manufacturing companies in Africa rely heavily on the importation of active pharmaceutical ingredients which are essential to finished pharmaceutical products to increase the local production of active pharmaceutical ingredients. The African Export Bank $400,000 in grant funding to the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Development of Nigeria for the establishment of an active pharmaceutical ingredient plant. Bank says the fund is a critical step towards pharmaceutical independence and self-reliance, as well as steps towards increasing local production of pharmaceutical products in the country. In addition, the project includes the development of a contextual for pharmaceutical industry to ensure key skills acquired by industry players who represent the vanguard of essential medicines on the continent. The bank says this collaboration demonstrates paradigm shift towards a new approach to sustainable healthcare in Africa while stimulating socio-economic development. In other news, Nigerian stocks began the week on steroids, following stronger sentiments that pushed stocks higher by almost 3%. At the close close of the day session, the all-share index added 2.93% to end at 43,246.87 equity capitalization also rose to 22.569 trillion naira. Volume of trade was 443.6 million, valued at 5.08 billion naira in 5,233 deals. The financial services industry led activity and was topped by Sterling Bank and FBN Holdings. Good business news, and comfort.
Thank you very much, Comfort Amodo, for business news package. And next for us is newspaper review.
All right, newspaper reviewer by our I'm listening in a while now.
Yes.
All right, you're all right.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good to see you. Okay, so let's begin with the leadership newspaper and the lead story headlines with Anambra supplementary poll. APC PDP bank 148,000 voters to overturn Soludo's lead. APC PDP bank on 148,000 voters to overturn Soludo's lead. We have a number of riders to that head. Hopeful of Kano magic. Forget it. Here lies our stronghold. That's according to Abuja. We are watching. Says Ohaneze. CSO calls for transparency. INEC adjusts voting timeline. Above that headline, stakeholders recommend urgent overhaul of power sector. And then coming further down, ECOWAS imposes sanctions on Mali. Court jails miner 8 years for pension fraud. Fuel queues spread as NNPC assures of availability of products. 6 Imo lawmakers impeach speaker. And $418 million deduction illegal. Governor's reply AGF. Attorney General of the Federation. 2023. Owabowa declares for president.
All right. Now let's turn to the Nation newspaper. Above the name NTA attack. Air Force Sergeant napped in Yola. That's on page 4. Mena jailed 8 years for $2 billion pension theft. To forfeit 2.1 billion naira and of course some houses. 5G network is not hazardous, says NC7. Anambra, Soludo, others battle for Ihiala. That's on page 2. All right, now. Lassa fever hit Bauchi, 3 others, 6 and 9 die in Niger road crash. That's on page 3. Now the lead story on the nation, governors, Malami's Paris Club reform suspect. Row over $418 million consultancy fee, proposed deductions, hasty. Now, Naiti unveils 7 oil firms, 2.6 trillion tax areas. That's on page 4. Troops at the bottom of the nation. Strike is swap on Damaturu Highway. That's on page 3. Now let's bring it back.
Thank you. Well, the Anambra election that was inconclusive will be conclusively held today to complete the exercise. The Independent National Electoral Commission has significantly emphasized that the exercise will start from 10 a.m. by 4 p.m. The INEC said that the decision followed a comprehensive review of the prevalent situation in Anambra. This has been shared with political parties, election observers, election duty officers, as well as the media and the public. There was no election in Ihiala local government where there were resistance resistance to INEC personnel. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Anambra, says police is ready, and security provision has been doubled. Notorious points such as Iseke and Abia between Imo and Anambra have all been covered thoroughly by security. Expected to vote 148,407 registered voters. There are 323 polling units, 30 registration areas. One contestant pointed out that voters in parts of Demili South, and others in about 12 local government areas came out but were not given the opportunity to vote. Another representative of another political party expressed optimism saying that it is not over until it is over. He emphasized that the party only needs to score 25% of votes in 21 states of Anambra, 14 local governments. For now, the gap between leading one and the next one is 52,24 votes. And the third place position has a gap of 61,404 votes to catch up with the lead contestant. Meanwhile, INEC appeals to citizens to conduct themselves in an order to enable the election in Anambra to be brought to peaceful conclusion. Crime now, this time on the area of corruption. Abdul Rashid, former chairman of the reform tax team, has been convicted for money laundering of 2 billion 8 years. Justice Okonaban, SY chairman, in all the 12 count charges preferred by the EFCC. Last month, it may be recalled, Faisal Abdul Maina, was sentenced to 24 years, having been found guilty 3 counts of money laundering, fictitious accounts, as well as fraud. He was sentenced in absentia. It may also be recalled that in October 2019, the court ordered the forfeiture of 23 properties linked to Rashid Maina. Still on crime and criminality. This time banditry. An officer serving in the Nigerian Air Force has been arrested over alleged involvement in bandit attacks at the Nigerian Defense Academy last August. Two officers were killed within the NTA premises, and another was abducted. Later, he was released. The suspect is said to be a sergeant in the Air Force, and he was working at the Air Force Comprehensive School, Yola. And was airlifted to Kaduna. He is to be interrogated in respect of arms and ammunition used by the NTA. Still on bandits on motorcycles invaded Regia local government area at 1:30 p.m. The Commissioner of Information, Alhaji Ibrahim, says that persons were killed and others banditry has considerably in Zamfara and others, fully measured adopted by the latest attack. In the latest villagers discovered that aside from killed and many others injured, many women and children were abducted.
Right. So they operated in the broad daylight, 1 p.m.
Yes.
About 1 p.m. That shows you the audacity of the guys. And on that of the NDA, the rumor, within the period that attack, was that there must be an insider to facilitate smooth operation of those that were involved in that attack, and therefore the nabbing of the sergeant in the Air Force. It's a clear indication that there was an insider before they were successful in that attack.
There was market fire over the weekend. That was on Friday. The death toll in that fire has risen to about 7. The fire occurred from a kerosene tank explosion. And how did it happen? Within the precinct of a market, where you have some windows windows converted to shops. In the meantime, the Minister of the FCT, Minister of State FCT, who visited the hospital, has indicated that the FCT will take over the victims. Meanwhile, the task force of the city sanitation has issued warnings of illegal structures, residential buildings that have been converted to commercial facilities. They are to revert to their former chairman of the Wari Area Council, John also indicated that notices have been served since Monday that nobody is allowed to trade along the road. The Abuja Environmental Protection Director Kaka issued 24-hour notice. All structures that fall within the regulated area for trading now to be demolished.
Kerosene explosion. The kerosene tanker. It was a kerosene tank. The impact was so heavy that the tank was flung up onto the roof.
I just hope that kerosene is not as volatile as petrol.
That's where I was going. Because the more adulteration of kerosene could have been, yes, before you can exclude in that magnitude.
Well, back to the issue of Air Force Sergeant who's been arrested from Yola and then brought to the NTA for further interrogation. It's heartwarming, even though we don't want to engage in media trial, because only some days ago, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, admitted attack on the NTA was an embarrassment to the military, and the fact that the military authorities, of course, through the intelligence digging into this matter, who the accomplices were support officers, where if any. This is to be commended. The gentleman who's been picked up, of course, it's a military issue, so you will expect they would adopt their various procedures. There were fatalities in that incident. So it's important that they get to the root of the matter. Again, let me just preface this. This is not media trial. The allegation is the gentleman supplied arms and ammunition. This is part of what persons have been drawing attention to. Whether it is dealing with Boko Haram in the northeast, banditry in the northwest, or kidnapping in that part of the country. It's not unlikely. Some security officers are hand in glove with some of these criminal elements, supplying them information, supplying them with armament, and then of course that's why you continue to find criminal activities are not coming to tolerable levels.
Some victims have testified that even when they were in captivity, you listen to the conversation of the bandits, they really have some persons who have military background. There are, for instance, one state they ordered 10 pieces of AK-47, and within 3 or 4 hours, it was supplied to them in the bush there. So he was wondering, how could this be possible? What is the source of this AK-47? And they said, look, it's brand new, and too fairly was supplied in their presence. That's a victim talking. It's really unbelievable. If you recall, Wadume, who was described as a kidnapped, there was an involvement of service officers. Up till now, the court martial that they're supposed to have faced has not been conducted, and is part of the measure that is the trial of Wadume. There's some good news. You know him. Nigeria is known as Kamaru Usman. He's been described as the Nigerian nightmare. He fights in
the ultimate fight boxing, kickboxing, kind of kickboxing. He won his 15 fights yesterday.
Yesterday was Monday.
Over the weekend. Thank you. At the Madison Square Garden. Cameroon is known as a Nigerian nightmare. He defeated Covington at Madison Square Garden to retain his welterweight championship.
I didn't quite land.
You're talking about some Peter. The heavyweight champion. He won his title. The Sam Peters was a good guy. He fought at the time. When there was, it didn't last because there were issues with his technique and probably his training regime. When he even got into pro boxing. No question about that. At the time he was there, the Klitschko brothers were in charge of the heavyweight division. But to be fair to Sam Peters, he tried to do his best. So that his best succeed. You couldn't possibly face Tyson Fury. No, if he came earlier, he couldn't face Evander Holyfield. The ultimate Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis.
Speak of 15 wins, just one fight away, beating the record in the other welterweight category. That's policy.
In a sense, you must draw blood. We don't have enough time. To get into this. We've raised this on Good Morning Nigeria on several occasions. When you see an election such as unfolding in Anambra and probably will be concluded today, we get back to the ultimate question of what do we do with our electoral system? This whole idea of past the post. Is it helping us? Or could we get into proportional representation? Or could we get into some parliamentary arrangement? You can see the scores of the candidates. So when you take out the winner is the first to get to the post. All the other votes are obviously wasted. And the voters are going to be asking themselves, so my vote didn't count. I know that there is a saying that minority can have their say, but the majority will have their way. So, but how do you account those votes? Assuming, for instance, that ultimately the result is the winner 200,001 votes. 200,001 votes. And the loser is 200,000 votes. The person who has 200,000 wins. The other 200,000 votes. What do we do about that?
But it's just in Nigeria. It's just that there were elections like in the US, for instance. The election that brought in Donald Trump. Recall that he ran with Clinton, right? Clinton, that election, right? Clinton had the majority of the votes because of the American electoral college.
No, but that is slightly different. In that case, you have electoral college allocated to states. So it is the candidate that wins that state that takes the majority of the votes.
But she had overall majority.
I agree with you. I think she led about 3 million. But when there are certain democracies in South Africa, Namibia, where you have the proportional representation, and it is very helpful. Proportional is very helpful. It's an mix of presidential and parliamentary. But it has to do with the electoral system. This is how it works. To say, look, everybody who have scored, depending on the number of seats in parliament, the percentage you score will entitle you to one seat. And then if you score a certain percentage, depending on the size, you're also entitled to a seat on the cabinet.
Well, we tried that in the first republic, but we felt that the presidential system patterned along the Americans. Here we are.
Very costly.
Yes, I agree with you. As a political student, I will tell you this. I'm a scholar. I don't want to believe that the parliamentary system failed us. We failed it. The issue is this. The issue to bring in presidential system of government is the bane of our national development. There are no two ways about it. There are no two ways about it. One is expensive. A situation where political office holders are becoming millionaires. A situation where House of Rep or Senate earning millions. When we have directors and pamphlets less than 500,000 people who have offered who are in service for several years cannot be promoted. That just added a few naira. Some collecting millions of naira on monthly basis because you are representing. In any case, in America, there are some members of House of Reps and the Senate in America live in their office. Some of them are sharing those who don't live in who are representing the state. But the thing, we even build houses for them, buy cars for them. Cars, they still import clothes.
There is an alarm raised by Nigerian rice producers about 500,000 metric tons of rice have been imported from India and Thailand. Benin Republic. Guess what? Their target is usually Nigeria because people in Benin don't consume rice. So custom is on the alert. They've sent officers and officers red alert at the border.
Because this is Christmas around the corner.
Thank you. The issue of president will have the opportunity to interrogate. If you look at it much more closely, molded us on the American system. But there are vast differences in the American president.
Yes. Ours is operated on the mentality of the parliamentary system. Thank you.
Once again, we appreciate it. It's Good Morning Nigeria live on NTA's network service. And we're broadcasting from Abuja. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll be dealing with securing democracy on the African continent.
Well, the housing solution we developed multifaceted. First, we have tried to lead a program to build what we think will be an acceptable, hopefully affordable housing type based on surveys 2015, 2016, and construction that started in 2017. And that's going on from 34 states as the National Housing Program.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
How to make a perfect bowl of love, a perfect blend of taste that brings every ingredient to life. A fusion of different spices. The unique aroma that rejuvenates your senses. The heartwarming deliciousness and the satisfaction that comes from every bite makes you say, I love my Indomie.
Dear compatriots, our country can be as great as we want.
All commit ourselves to
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
Expansive land mass, material resources, and plurality and strength.
Let our challenges discover our common ground. Together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time. So it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from everyone of us.
Let all hands come on deck and transform our country.
Let us unite, see each other, not as adversaries, but as brothers.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and for the next generation.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency with support from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
All right. It is a well-known fact that democracy is recognized acceptable form of government, including African countries. However, in recent years, the democratic governance is being threatened by incessant coup d'etats and other practices that tend to undermine the democratic principles. Abdul-Salam Jibrin in this background report on some incursions into democratic governance on the continent.
The October 25th coup in Sudan is the latest of several military coups that the African continent has witnessed this year. Three successful coups in Mali, Guinea, and Sudan. One unsuccessful coup attempt in Niger Republic, and an arbitrary military transfer of power following the assassination of its president, Idris Deby. These power grabs, experts threaten the democratization process Africa has undergone in the past 2 decades, and the return to the era of coups as the norm. Reports show that in the last 4 decades, precisely between 1960 and the year 2000, the continent recorded an average of 4 coups a year. Some experts maintain that governance is still dominated by strongman presidents who have ruled with iron fists. This set of rulers, they insist truncates democratic processes to stay in perpetually. Others say that some of the coup leaders that depose a democratically elected government often find themselves accused of the same abuses of power as their predecessors. They insist that many of these leaders claim to be practicing democracy, rig elections, manipulate the constitution to stay in power, stifle the media, use the security services to suppress dissent through violent reprisals. However, there are several African countries that have beacons of democracy on the continent. Mauritius, for instance, is one of such shining light. The country has had regular elections since it achieved republic status in 1992, 24 years after independence in 1968. Neighboring Ghana has also been hailed for its democratic process. Nigeria since 1999 has witnessed uninterrupted democratic rule, witnessing the handover of power to an political party in 2015, that has been hailed by many. As the African continent seeks to entrench democratic culture on the continent, what should be done to sustain how can military incursion be prevented? What should be done to surmount the prevalence of anti-democratic processes on the continent? Guests on the program will be speaking to measures towards securing democracy in Africa. Shortly.
Thank you very much, Abdul-Salam Jibril, for that. We have in the studios here to discuss this subject matter. Paul Ejime is an international affairs analyst. Paul, pleasure to have you with us on the program.
Thank you, Kingsley.
And joining us, we actually have two guests joining us via Zoom. And first, we have from Lagos, Professor Bola Akin Teriwa, former Director General Institute of International Affairs. So you're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to listeners.
All right, and so via Zoom, Calabar is Ambassador Mkoyo Toyo, former Nigerian ambassador to Ethiopia, former member of Representatives. Ma'am, good morning, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me as well.
All right. Once again, our pleasure to have you all with us this conversation. Just to remind our viewers, I've seen a few drafted in the media, indicating 25 years ago, 1996, Professor Claude Ake was one of the victims of the ADC plane crash in Lagos. I'm bringing in Professor Claude because also Professor Bola Akinterewa is the former Director General of NIA. In 1993, I'm not quite sure, Professor Claude delivered the Guardian annual lecture at NIA and the title of that lecture is Africa Democratizing. Because at the time, Africa was moving away from military regimes and getting into democracy. Today our focus is on how secure democracy in Africa on account of many unsavory incidents that we have witnessed. You heard the background report by our correspondent, Mali, Guinea, Chad, and of course there was an attempt also in Nigerian Republic. ECOWAS leaders up and running, seeking to ensure that democracy continues have a foothold in West Africa. Professor Bola Akinterewa, beginning with you. Is democracy imperiled in Africa?
Democracy is not impaired. Africa is not.
I go school for this business. Go and learn this game, my friend. Why the whole?
We demand your presence immediately at the palace. I hope all is well.
Freeze from Zoom. Ambassador Koyo Toyo, if your signals are clear, can we have your response to that? Is democracy imperiled in Africa?
All right, we actually seem to be having issues with two connections there, but I hope that in the course of the program we will reestablish the two guests via and right here
Paul Jim, also respond to the question.
Well, imperiled, yes. And by whom? Because that is the issue. Democracy really is not the problem. I think it's the practitioners. You know, it's like you have people talk about constitution as if when you bring the best constitution is going to turn the country into an Eldorado. No, it is the practice. Or even religion. You know, people criticize religion, but it's not religion that is the issue. I'm talking about God. But it is those who are practicing it. So it is the practitioners, politicians in particular, that are the ones now imperiling it. That English like that. That are now the ones bringing that threat, and then doing whatever they like with democracy. Otherwise, if it was allowed to run, I listened to the background where you were talking about first past the post, parliamentary, executive, presidency, Cape Verde run. They have a prime minister, and then the president. You can have a melange, like the French, a mixture of all this. But it depends on the commitment and leadership. We'll go to leadership at one point. But it is a deliberate attempt. Let it run. Let the system run. The system is not an abstract. It's made up of people. Because you say, it's the system. It's the system. Who make up the system? So democracy is facing that threat. Is imperiled. Is threatened. Is suffering from maybe some people will say it's in the ICU and needs to be resuscitated. And it can be resuscitated. But also remember that this is a system that compared with every other one, and that is the reason that it is still found to be acceptable because it provides you with that opportunity to be able to change your leader through the ballot box if you don't want what they are unlike doing. All the other they say if education is bad for you, try ignorance. If you don't like democracy, can you deal with dictatorship? Can you deal with military rule? Religious the one by whatever they call it, theocracy. This one has been tried and seems to be the only one that gives you or lends itself to it's amenable to you. If you did the right thing, it can work for you. But if you don't, you will blame the system. Like every other person is doing.
Okay. We have now established the connection with I guess Professor Bola Akintayo. You just started and we lost your contact. Now, democracy in a perilous situation presently in Africa. Have Nkoyo Toyo. Can we bring her in at this point? If we were still connected. All right. You were talking about mixing. You remember to hear about DAG.
Well, yeah, that. We
had it during the IBB regime.
That was a terrible.
Where we had the military at the center of governors, civilian governors, and what have you. The most important thing about, or ask you actually, to tell us about is why has it become so persistent in Africa that some leaders on the continent would rather prefer to truncate the constitution, or what is now called the constitutional coup, to remain in power after being sworn in for a particular term in office. Why has that persisted? Because if you look at the recent developments in some African countries, that had always been the problem. Why has it persisted? You talked about the practitioners. Why is it from one country to the other? It is no one. ECOWAS, for instance, has just said that they are going to sanction. One would ask, where was ECOWAS when those were truncating already established of the country? Why wait until there's a coup d'etat before ECOWAS can wait it?
Good question. And Kieran, remember where we're coming from. We were dealing with dictatorships. You have rebels in charge. Two governments. You have one and then another one in the bush. Across Africa, even in Nigeria. So then the wind came of democracy, and then blew everybody. Everybody joined the bandwagon. But the issue is you don't just join the Joneses or join a boss that you don't know the destination. It appears that they just got on that bus and then started. Remember that this is where they are going. This is going to Calabar. When they did not take off initially, and that is the problem. That the system was not. What you have is that democracy is also a system. It is a process that needs to grow. That will evolve. America is still struggling with it. So we tend to have strong people, strong individuals instead of institutions. It is the weakness of that has allowed people to now bring it down. You talked about now they are using the democratic system factors telling you, well, we have conducted the election. Democracy does not equate to running a regular election. It is just one of the credentials. Election. Yes. But that is not an end game. It's a process that has so many pillars. One of them is that you need to cater for the well-being. That is what governance is all about. We tend to concentrate on government instead of governance. Governance is the whole gamut of what you do when you are in government. But what are people doing is that when they are there, they don't govern. I saw the Barbadian woman, Prime Minister talking about when will leaders lead. It appears that in Africa leaders are not leading. They are not. They are festering their own nest. And you mentioned it. They have used the umbrella of democracy to truncate a lot of things. They change constitution. The electoral laws are bastardized. The whole elections that are not credible. And then so they are now committing political constitutional coups. And then the military they were there. Most of them were even politicized. They now said, this is an opportunity for us to go. And then what about the greed, the corruption, the tendency of people who claim to lead? In fact, we don't have leaders in Africa. If you ask me, maybe a few of them. Let me not be unfair to everybody. But the majority, what they are doing is that they are festering their own nest. When they are there, their friends, it is their family, they use religion, they use ethnicity, they use all kinds manner of things to make sure that the people are divided, and also try now to distribute the benefits of democracy. Because some call it dividend. Because if it's not there, if it's limited to some people, if it's not inclusive, what you are going to have is disaffection. And that population that is now disaffected, they have lost trust and confidence in governance. Because it's not being according to the rules.
Paul, thank you for the perspective that you have provided. We're talking about the pillars of democracy. Governance being the ultimate of democracy. Governance is a good governance in the first instance. Some also refer to the rule of law, and then adherence, of course, to the separation of powers. But what we find on the African continent, we've seen it in West Africa, we've seen it in Southern Africa. Robert Mugabe was changing the constitution at will, changing the electoral rules at will. When all of these interferences with the key pillars of democracy are going on, why does society not resist? Because it appears that there is some opium that is injected into society, and then the leader then becomes whoever he wants to be, and he does whatever he likes until crisis time.
Yes, and that is we talked about leadership. They led. If there is anything, they also have, and that is where you have the people. Or the other arms. Government is made up of three arms. You have the legislature, judiciary, and then what is the other one? Judiciary, and the executive. Okay. These three. You find in some places. What these politicians do is that they control these three arms. Okay, and then use them to do whatever they like. It's no longer democracy. And then you ask the question, what are the people doing? In some other places, they have. The people have risen. That's why you have a revolution. It's not a present-day term. Revolution. It's always been there. When the people are changed, they rise. Okay, in various forms. French all over the place. Recently, the Arab Spring. Even in Burkina Faso in West Africa, you found what they call people power. About 1 million rose up to drive away, chase away Blaise Compaoré, who is reported killed his Sankara to take over power, was there for 20-something years. So that is where the people now, both the civil society, and then the electorate themselves. You find people in the politicians they seem to have mastered the rule, and because of this inequality that is there, some rich getting richer and then the poor. So the rich they now use what they have to buy votes. Vote buying is not a new concept. Then because of poverty, there is poverty in Africa. Africa is not poor. Let's get it. It's been impoverished by this same class that they want to seize power and cling to power to be able to begin to oppress the people indefinitely if they allow. And that is where I think that issue of the people rising. Because dictator can whoever is in government will continue to whatever type of government can only succeed if he or she has accomplices led. And who are these led? Those who are voting. If you allow yourself to be deceived, given the bag of whatever it is, they can't even give you a bag of rice. It's very expensive. Maybe they buy you wrapper and give you 500. I saw in the video where some people were getting 200 naira. That's 400. And then a can of mineral. And then you line up. Where is your voter's card? They even buy that. If that is what you are going to get for somebody deciding your destiny, taking decisions that will affect you and your future generations to come. Well and good. They need to rise. Bringing the leadership to account. Accountability. If you know that people, there is no reason you have laws. Because left alone, man can begin to free will. We can do any difference between man and the animal. Is that the man is supposed to be a superior and how? What does that? Regulation, laws and things. But we are not obeying. We are good at not obeying laws in breach. So the people have to rise. People have to ask questions. And not when chief is called. Somebody is corrupt. He's a thief, but he's a thief. He's from son of the soil. So when he's been tried, why must they try? That man is from my place. Then you begin to inject some extraneous considerations.
Exactly. And when you raise the point of what happened in Burkina Faso, that was it. It cannot happen in Nigeria. Right. So it's a very good example. When it comes to having the guts to react when some leaders are really going off their line. Okay. We have re-established link with Ambassador Toyo. I hope you listen to contributions of Paul and our initial question to ask what is happening to democracy in Africa.
For inviting me and asking me to join the internet is holding through. I would like to make it that you cannot think about democracy and security of the continent itself. As we speak, we know that it's particularly in West and Central Africa to extreme upheaval, and even we're having a lot of these open up. So even where you have that have lasted for quite a couple. You find out that those institutions come under extraneous factors that compromise their work. I'm just foregrounding my context we have in Africa is a context that defines the systems that are able to uphold or become of the crisis. The second point I would like the very nature of democracy is picture. The democracy.
We're still experiencing the hitches along the line of communication with Ambassador Koyo. So we have to return. I wouldn't know whether Prof. Akinterewa is online. All right, it's not. So we have to remain with studio guest here. Now, according to African Center for Strategic Studies, since 2015, leaders in 13 countries of Africa have invaded limited restrictions that has been in before they took over power. Now, what should the regional bodies such as ECOWAS or even AU, which is of course an umbrella where all the African nations belong. What should such organizations do respect to such constitutional coup by some African leaders before it gets to the real military coup itself?
Yeah, you know, ECOWAS of all the regional economic communities. ECOWAS has held up as a very it showed the way how you can manage crisis, how you can also get leaders to do what they're supposed to do. If they don't, you apply sanctions and all. Remember Liberia. Remember Sierra Leone. Cote d'Ivoire. Guinea, all these places. ECOWAS had done that. In trying to, they have some instrumentalities, they have protocols that will address some of this. What is happening is that the lack of political will to implement some of this. It has now become a paddy issue. Peer review, for instance, we are colleagues, and then we are heads of state, and you are doing something that is against the protocol. Nobody calls you. I won't tell you. We just meet and then drink champagne and all that. That is what is lacking. The fact that ECOWAS is no longer the same ECOWAS it used to be. Because they are there. I heard somebody saying that they now need to put it on paper that you must not exceed 2 terms. You don't need to do all that. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Somebody like Tanzania in Niger trying to dismantle because they start with colonizing the parliament, so that whatever they take is rubber stamped. So executive is now combined. There is no separation of power like US. And then you have seen that the judiciary has joined in some places, giving very dubious and inconsistent decisions that are not furthering democracy. So when an executive now captures the 3 arms of government, it becomes difficult for anybody to challenge it.
Paul, we want to pause you in the meantime. Try one more time, Professor Akinterewa. It's a shame that Zoom connections to Professor Akinterewa and Ambassador Okoye. Those connections have been problematic. But Professor Bola Akinterewa, if you are there and if you can hear us, maybe we give you the opportunity to kick off from where you were starting. What do you think is happening to democracy in Africa? Why is this so?
Can you hear me?
Well, the video there is that of Professor Akinterewa, but the voice is that of Ambassador Toyo. Ambassador Toyo, we can hear you. So just proceed from where you left off. Why is democracy facing life-threatening challenges in different parts of the African continent?
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah. I just wanted to make my contribution very quickly to say that the state of democracy, particularly in West Africa and in the rest of Africa, is a function of the context in which we have as a continent facing insecurity, poverty, growing population, youthful bulge, which has resulted in many young people finding their countries unsatisfactory in terms of the leadership. The other issue I wanted to talk about was the conflictual nature of politics and the very nature of contestation, internal contradictions that it creates, and the inability of the institutions that hold democracies to be able to handle the weight that's coming from the contending factors. I agree to a large extent with Paul that the players and the actors and the political class are largely responsible for the undermining of democracy in our continent. But there's also in which people have to fight back for that space, and that fighting back for that space is not happening sufficiently. You saw what happened under Donald Trump in the United States, where the Americans got up and fought back. You saw what happened on the 6th of January, the attack on the Capitol, and you saw the reaction of many forces to counter that incursion into the democratic space. I think what we are not seeing sufficiently is the ability of contending interest to say that this has to be held back, and that some of these institutions have to be protected and defended and upheld. In the case of Nigeria, for example, you see that the institutions themselves also are reforming. There's a call for if you look at the way INEC has worked itself over the years. I think they are not a perfect institution, but definitely there are many efforts on their part to try to strengthen those electoral capabilities of INEC. What I'm saying in effect is that there is in the nature of democracy a contestation for its own security. Someone needs to secure it. Forces have to come around to make sure they uphold. And what is not happening in Africa is the absence of contending forces. And lastly, this is also tested by the fact that we have a large population, very poor people. We have undermining of institutions by alternative and parallel forces, as we have in the case of Nigeria, and many other undermining factors. But there is no alternative to democracy, and I think even the word securing is an important one in the sense that we already assuming that democracy has come to stay. But the fact is, how can we make it better in the context of our continent? Those countries that have moved up to take on military rule in one form or the other are being confronted by ECOWAS, the African Union, and many international bodies, and being tried to pull back in terms of what they are doing. So there is a contestation going on across the continent.
All right. Thank you for your initial comment. Actually, you've done an overview of this very important topic this morning. We will return to you in a short while. Now, let's go back to Professor Akinterewa. I hope that you're going to get history this time around. The question has always been what is happening to democracy in Africa. Let's have your first take on that.
Thank you for having me back. Let me begin with the observation of the 1990s point, which was right pointed out that Africa was not on the path democratizing. And I want to link that one up to the point by Ambassador Toyo, that democracy is the result and the function of the environmental conditionings. And thirdly, I want to remind everyone of what Jerry Rawlings said in 1979, and I want to quote. He said, if the people are crushed by their elite, it is up to the army to give the people their freedom. End of quote. Now, when we now come with the synthesis of the 3 points, I want to say that one, Africa was not. Africa is not on the path of any democratization of whatever kind. The question should not be securing democracy. Ambassador Toyo, I agree with her in total. And I salute the sagacious minds of the NTA team that came up with this type of securing democracy. You can't secure what you do not have. Like Ambassador Toyo said, it is presumed that democracy already exists. Therefore, what are you securing? What type of democracy are you securing? I said the question to be rephrased because if you look at the supplementary protocol done on December 21st in 2001. It was done in Dakar, Senegal. It was a supplementary protocol on democracy and good governance. If you take a closer look at the principles enunciated there, you will discover that how to secure democracy has been clearly defined. Clearly defined. The issue now is that why is non-compliance with such provisions? There are many. If you look at for instance, some of the principles. Let me find one and read to you. For instance, Article 22, paragraph 1 says, I quote, the use of arms to dispense non-violent meetings or demonstrations shall be forbidden. Whenever a demonstration becomes violent, only the use of minimal or proportionate force shall be authorized. The question I ask: How do African police force, military men engage non-violent demonstrations? Please, every peaceful demonstration in Africa has always been met with brutality. I now ask the question: Is it that the law does not exist? Is the provision not there? Why is it so? Let me give you another provision. There are many. Article 1D. No, okay. Article 22. Paragraph 2. I read the first paragraph before. All cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment shall be forbidden. Paragraph 3. The security forces, while carrying out investigations, shall not disturb or arrest family members or relations. Now, when you take a holistic view at this supplementary protocol, you will discover that the African leaders are precisely executing what they promised not to do. This supplementary is that of the ECOWAS, but a reflection of that of the African Union. So I am saying that at the level of Claude Ake, who observed that we were not democratizing. This is the evidence. It is not sufficient to come out with an agreement put in black and white. Very beautifully done. The 15 member countries signing that. What will be sufficient is translating your intentions into action. But they are not prepared. Second point. You see, there is insecurity in Africa. And I am arguing that insecurity has now been elevated level of attitudinal virus, which none of the COVID-19 vaccines can now meaningfully address. Simply because the democratic order, the quest for democratic order is simultaneously being counter-ordered by military coup of a completely different nature. Military coups that have the enjoyment, the support of the people. Now when you have a coup d'etat that has a popular base justification, then you now ask your question: who really now is protecting the people's interest? The African Union, the ECOWAS, the regional bodies will come up with the argument that under no circumstance will there be constitutional change of government. We saw it in Mali, and the AU will now want to intervene. We now ask the question: why is it that democratically elected governments are engaged in anti-people activities? We have corruption. It's always there. The elite are engaging in poor bad governance. Now requiring the people to protest. We see it in Mali. In Mali, for instance, the people protested against the president, his government, and by the time the international community was intervening, the AU coming in to support them. The people came out in support of the military coup. The situational reality is not different in Guinea. Now you have a situation whereby the president was accused of corruption, of anti-people activity, and now the people came out to support the coup. Now how do we explain the situation of democracy? And that brings me to Ambassador Nkoyo, who rightly academically this time, not diplomatically, that look, democracy is a function of the environment. And I agree, environmental conditions. But the issue now is that the African leaders will have eyes that refuse to see. They will seal their mouth when, for instance, their counterparts are not doing well. Instead of calling their colleagues to order, they keep quiet. But when the people now decide to take arms, because Ambassador yes, there will always be contestations. I quite agree. I think Jimmy was making one point earlier on why there have to be agitation. So when we are looking at how to secure democracy, it is not just simply looking at the various dynamics, the environment. The question must be asked. The measures are put in place already. Why are you not complying with them? Second, you have African leaders. They change constitution. No, you see, one provision in this particular supplementary protocol is that thou shalt not change. No, they didn't say change. Thou shalt not modify the constitution 6 months prior to election. The concept of modification as distinct from amendment, review. Is that look, there must not be a holistic amendment of the electoral law. But that is precisely what the African leaders are doing. They amend the constitution. And then longevity in power, stay in power. This is the problem.
Professor Bola, thank you very much. You've raised a number of issues. I want Ambassador Toyo, if you are still there, let's probably take a look at an aspect of the attitudinal virus that Professor Bola was talking about. When you look at the key elements of democracy, rule of law, and embedded in that is the notion of separation of powers. But we have seen that in the vast majority of cases, the executive branch emasculates the other two. Yeah, Ambassador Koyo, we understand you're not there, but the other two branches emasculate the other two branches, namely the legislature and the judiciary. I'm wondering, Professor Bola Akinterewa, is it that in Africa we are still struggling with probably coming to terms with what democracy truly entails, and therefore we are at the back of our minds once we have elected a leader, we see him as an Oba. It's like a Kabiyesi. He's a leader. He can do, and also undo. That's almost absolute monarch, which is why you have a parliament that is emasculated, and you have a judiciary that also compromises, which you hardly find in more mature democracies. Is it that we have not quite understood this intricacies that a leader is elected to govern for the good of the people rather than to lord it over the people?
Hello?
I can hear you.
Can I hear the question well?
All right, let Paul Jimmy take that question.
Well, I think we have alluded to it, in the preamble. But here, I think from Professor Akinterewa and Ambassador Toyo, what has come out is that the pillars for democracy are weak in Africa. You have all the factors they have mentioned. But when it is strong, that is when it can also address this issue of governance that has itself the lack of created some of the problems that are now have arisen. Unemployment. There is no employment because the money that people are supposed to use to get employment or put factories has been either cornered or are not going where it should go. Education is missing. When people are not in school, kids are not in school. They go to do Yahoo, whatever it is that they are going to do. If hospitals are not, they leave the hospitals in their own country and then begin to go abroad. For where things are better. Social security, education. Human rights and all that.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Yes. The government of my question is as well. I'm sure Kirian picks this up as well. Look, why is this possible? Why is this possible? Is it because we have a leader? We will say, yes, this leader is like our overlord. You couldn't possibly see your leader, an African on a bicycle, on a queue. You couldn't. Whereas in more advanced democracies, it's like a next door neighbor. So once we have elected our leaders, do we invest them with the powers of a monarch?
I think question borders on followership. Because at a point, if you serve as a local government chairman for your locality, and you come back without having feet or houses, that you have failed.
I agree. And we have all thought some of this. That while leadership is an issue, followership or the led will have to do their part. That is why was talking about people holding their leaders to account. If you put people there, but no, I think they studied the psychology of the followers. For instance, in Nigeria, if anything, there is protest against anything. Just give it 2 weeks. Everybody will go back to their business. They say, okay, let me go and look for something to eat. That commitment is lacking. I think education, political education is also another thing. To get them to understand. I'm back from Cabo Verde, they call it in Portuguese. And that is why we will say anybody who is saying that democracy has a problem, yes, and can be secure. It is possible. Nobody should tell us that Africans are not wired to. It is just that we are not willing. The leaders have got independence in 1975, and they have conducted 7 elections. All of them were peaceful. This is the fifth president that has been elected on the 17th of October. And if you got there, you will think that there is peace. You don't find that acrimony. You can make the argument that this is a small country of less than 1 million. But in their constitution, for instance, let me tell you something. What we have here, one of those things that drives corruption and make people now want to cut corners. Candidates is not required to deposit any money to run for an office. Compare that with what we have in Nigeria, where to pick a form for president is 15 billion naira. Where will you get that? The president gets the salary is less than $4,000.
Sorry. There's no requirement for a presidential candidate to pay a deposit. It is for the nomination by the party. Which is but it's not the same as a deposit. The deposit, if it is a deposit, the way deposit works in an election is you pay a deposit to the electoral commission, and if you do not score a certain percentage of the votes, you lose that deposit. For this one to get your nomination, I know that it's a problem. Okay. In fact, let me conclude that whether it is to the party or I mean, why would a country allow any government allow that sort of thing? Where will you get 15 billion? Has that not disenfranchised the large majority? Not only that. When you win, the votes you get, they give you about $8 per vote that you got in an election. So people talking about clean votes. No. Yes, valid votes. And then that kind of the president has three vehicles, and then one outrider. I've told you the salary. $3,200. Then the prime minister gets 90% of that. Then the president of the assembly gets 80%. MPs get 75% of that. They are not entitled to anything. They are living in their president and the prime minister. So they can get the subsidy rent. You know, when you do some of these things, and then another issue. When they have the problem of
voters card. They were trying to update their data. They didn't do that. You know what they did? Once you have a valid ID, national ID card, or your international passport, you vote. And these are people who have more of their indigenous abroad than so they have people in 30 something country. And all of them voted on the same day. And by INEC is also doing that. After 2 hours, there is a website that is showing the results. You already they call it provisional result, but it's the difference between that one and the official one is very minute. So is it back to my question? Yes. About the monarchy syndrome. The monarch must have a palace. Yes. So which is why you will see elected officials, the head of the assembly or something has an official residence like a palace. The government house that is like a palace. We have our I'm talking about Nigeria. Go to other African countries. You will see the same way. You talked about attitude. I think there has to be reorientation. To tell the people that I get what you said. Even those who have voted in, the MPs will tell you that they have people who come to them for whatever any needs. Will drive them to become corrupt because you exceed your pay. So the people will also have to know that they have the responsibility.
I think Professor Akintayo captured it properly when he said they have attitudinal virus. It's not just the leaders, but the followers as well. Right. And what we're talking about having policies by heads of every member of National Assembly has one palace here, or someplace or the other. That's what is going on. I confronted one of them on this platform, Good Morning Nigeria, perhaps after the program. To say, look, you are earning up to 12 million naira, and what do you say? Has some staff that is paying. And I told you, now you have some after 4 years, you do what will happen to those staff? Why not properly to get them well-employed in an organization, then depending on what to earn. He justified that amount of money based on the individual personal staff that he has, and what have you. It's our attitude about. So sustaining democracy in Africa is not going to be easy because all strata of democratic principle has been touched in terms of our attitude towards democracy. You're watching Good Morning Nigeria, network service of the NTA. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, the conversation continues.
19, that is the black swan of the century, has actually hit the whole world very hard, even the strongest of economies, and Nigeria was not spared. But due to the proactive stance that the president has taken, we've been able to come out quickly. The president has consistently said we must invest in infrastructure. Even as we're investing in human capital, we must invest in infrastructure. Because at the end of the day, that is what will bring about a sustainable economic growth. So the president has given us our directive. He has said you must make sure you pay salaries and pay pensions. But you also make sure that critical projects of roads, railway, airports, bridges, major infrastructure that are meant to drive the growth of the economy, that we consistently invest in them, even if we have to borrow to do so.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Finally, the euro of Nigeria's democracy has arrived. We shall usher us into a new phase of development, peace, and prosperity. Easy, father of Nigeria. Excellent President Hamadu GCF. Welcome another season of giving Nigeria together. We get sure of a future for both ourselves and generations. Yet we look forward, leading us as a nation to our manifesto. Though the challenge against our people. We know your leadership set us on the right to a new dawn beckons on us, and having you president is a precursor to thank you for believing in Nigeria. This message from Nigerian television NTA.
Dear compatriots, our country can be as great as we want.
Let us all commit ourselves to greatness.
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
In our expansive landmass, human and material resources, and plurality lies our strength.
Let our challenge lead us to discover our common ground. Together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time, so it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from everyone of us.
Let all hands come on deck to protect and transform our country.
Let us unite and see each other not as adversaries, but as brothers and sisters.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and the next generation.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency NOA with support from Nigerian Television Authority NTA.
Chelsea will be hosting a hat-trick of victories against teams in the relegation zones. When they welcome Burnley to Stamford Bridge, will they succeed Saturday? It's Chelsea versus Burnley on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League is brought to you by Ijebu and powered by Integral.
You're welcome back. Still good morning, Nigeria, and the network service of the Nigerian Authority. Let's rejoin Professor Bola Akinteriwa, who is with us still via Zoom from Lagos. Professor Bola Akinteriwa, let's get your take on the issue that Paul Ejime has been speaking to, one that we raised, of course, namely that part of the challenge we have with democracy in Africa is one of attitude expressed as strong men versus weak institutions. And you have strong men because of the perception that in Africa leaders elected by the ballot are invested with the toga of monarchies. And how then do you get leaders to account when they are monarchical in nature?
Ejime cannot be more correct. Like you did mention yourself earlier on, because his position, your observation simply justifies, explains the rational reason given by Dumbuya in Guinea. Who explained the rationale for the coup? This way. Please, give me the benefit to quote it. Is over. We will no longer entrust politics to one man. We will entrust it to the people. That is the point you have been emphasizing. How do we explain? Than
let's return to Prof.
Now, in this case, the problem as identified at the level of the coup d'etat in Guinea is that the people of Guinea have now suddenly realized that the totality of their democratic life is largely predicated on the president, on one single person. And they now say it will no longer be so. Let us trust the future of our democratic life on the people of Guinea. And this is how why the Guineans themselves supported the coup. So when you look at it, it's not just in Guinea. It is virtually everywhere. Even here in Nigeria. the political parties, the politicians, the elite, everyone runs to Aso Rock for presidential protection. Now we are doing exactly what is said to be wrong. But when we have a situation where we want democracy to work, and I want to observe here that look, democracy can be secured regardless of the type of democracy we have in Nigeria, because our democracy in Nigeria has multidimensional colorations. You have a situation whereby we preach democracy, federalism on the one hand, the sermon of a good governance on the one hand, but acting contrary to it. Look at for instance now democracy is supposed to foster social justice, fairness, etc. But look at the situation whereby in a democratic system, you will have security forces going to the house of a justice. Odili. No, there must be a procedure of doing that one. You don't talk about democracy when at the same time you are making life difficult to live a democratic life. Now in Nigeria, look at the constitution for instance. I was referring to the supplementary protocol of 2001. That was the ECOWAS. It says that no member state shall engage in religious matters, provides for secularity, etc. alone. But look at how many times, for instance, the 1999 Constitution talked about religion, talks about Sharia. When you talk about concurrent list and exclusive list, you discover that exclusive list has more than something there in the Constitution. Yet we are talking about promoting democracy. You are talking about the federal system. I think that if we want to,
we are going to return shortly before we conclude this edition of Good Morning Nigeria. But for now, let's pause you and return to Abuja where we have Paul. I want to talk a little bit about election. And why the elections help African countries, consolidate, deepen, and entrench democracy. They can also pave way for sustain the majoritarian power to the detriment of minority. Good example is what's happening in Cameroon. Right. So how has this played a role in practice of democracy in Africa?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, like you mentioned, that it's supposed to be one of the ingredient of democracy, offering you that opportunity to change, because having regular election. If a leader does not perform, the idea was that by the next term, if it now comes to ask to say no, you say no, so you can change. But elections have also become major triggers and drivers of political violence in Africa. Because they are not done the way they should. From election management and processes are very delicate. Some people see it as an entrance, but it's not. It is just to facilitate obtaining power and using that power for the benefit of the people. But what happens is that they now manipulate it to put. If you now use the election to install somebody that is not the right person, You rig an election to gain power. That was what in Guinea, Conde got himself third term by going to do he did a referendum to change the constitution, got the assembly to sign, and then went for a third term. That is what put him into trouble. And then I also want to quickly respond to what Professor was saying. The military can also read all the riot acts that this was also Dumbuya was the security to see him holding an umbrella for Conde. They are part of the problem. Suddenly they realize that they are now the saviors, and they have never been. Because when they take power, they now begin once they get there. Maybe there's something. Yes, intoxicates and corrupts. They now want to stay. The Malians are now asking for beyond the 22nd of February to do the election. They need an extension. If you also remember, we had transition for 8 or 9 years. So both the military, I hope we are going to get to what is the solution. Both the military, everybody is complicit in this. Not just the leaders, the people, the judiciary, the parliament, the civil society, the media, everybody. We need. If we don't do our part, we will find ourselves in this ditch.
Well, I was just wondering, gentlemen, that's between yourself and Professor Akinteriwa. We know that the principle of non-interference has been one that has suffered some erosion in recent years on account of various protocols in ECOWAS that we have. But is it that African peers tend to act somewhat belatedly? Cote d'Ivoire is in some relative stability, but we do know that the leader had to do something to get it effective. Look at what happened in Guinea. Look at what happened in Mali. Chad, of course, dodged the bullet. The Niger Republic immediately after elections. But when these crises are simmering, does Africa have an early warning system by which leaders, influential leaders, who pick up their phones and start admonishing their colleagues to say this is likely to lead to trouble. And once you are able to timing it at that point, it saves you all the costs that we have seen lately. Nigeria's vice president shuttling from one meeting to the other with ECOWAS leaders to try to get things back on track in terms of imposing sanctions and then getting democracy right back on track. Do African leaders react when it is too late?
Yes, they do. And it is all paddy that we mentioned. Because you talked about these protocols are there, or non-interference or whatever. ECOWAS or AU, they have the protocol of how you mentioned early warning. They do not hack into those when they see the red flag. For instance, in the Gambia, something is brewing. They have an election in December 4th. Meanwhile, the man who got in there and through default was not the original presidential candidate, but the man who was put in jail. That was why he came. Now he has stayed there for how many years now? The man who was there, Jammeh, was virtually chased out. This man now wants to continue. The constitution they drafted, the parliament is not going to find that. They set up a Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Committee that talked about how people were murdered and how people disappeared. They are not acting on that. Instead, his party is now going into alliance Jammeh's party to bring Jammeh back. So it is that inability to act. They lack the courage to tell themselves the truth. Instead, they are now a club of big men. They drink champagne and then tell them. But otherwise, even AU has what they call peer review. mechanism. It is supposed to go and say, my friend, what is this that you are doing? But they don't do that. Instead, when the military now strikes, then they say they are condemning the military. When in fact they have caused the political coup or constitutional coup.
As to the rule of ECOWAS and other organizations to respect to ensuring that one does not go overboard to begin to truncate his constitution to continue in office after serving second term. And that's the area you have just mentioned. So let's get from Professor Akintenera. In this respect, just the same question. How should African leaders react when their colleagues in their countries are beginning to truncate the nation's constitution in order to perpetuate themselves in power? Although as the raised the issue of non-interference, but in the spirit of brotherhood, is it necessary for an African leader to call each other to say, look, your action might lead to crisis. Is it a possibility?
First of all, let us put the understanding of interference in context. I think that there cannot be any basis to talk interference since all the member states of the African Union have agreed that certain attitudinal disposition must be displayed in political governance. And the moment any African leader does not comply with the requirement, the AAU has the right to come in. And this is justified in different ways by different principles, like the principle of subsidiarity, which allows the regional bodies to address all their regional problems, especially in terms of threat to security, to address them immediately on their own. It is only when, for instance, the regional body is unable to quickly find solutions that the problem can now be referred to the continental body. So if we are talking about delayed interference or not intervention, delayed attention, it is simply because at the regional level there may have been delay. In the ECOWAS, for instance, the African Union expects that the ECOWAS should be able to quickly nip in the bud any crisis before deteriorating to the level of conflict. So in this case, we can see that the problem is first of all located at the regional level. Egime pointed out probably there were no prompt peer review. To an extent, I will agree with him halfway. But the factual truth is that on a yearly basis, a publication of the activities of the African Union on peer review activities is always published. There is always peer review. But the main point that when a crisis is still in the making. In fact, that is why it is called crisis. Crisis when you have misunderstandings and interventions are limited to the level of diplomacy. So diplomats will come and try to prevent the crisis from deepening. But the moment, for instance, you are unable to contain the crisis, and you get to the level of conflict, then the problem becomes different. And in this case, you are talking about the use of force. But
we have to stop you there, Prof. And thank you also for your contribution this morning to Good Morning Nigeria. Professor Bola Akinterenwa, former Director General Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. We thank you one more time. And then the studio here, we'll have the Paul Ichime, International Affairs Analyst. Thank you for being here this morning. We also have the via Zoom Calabar Ambassador Toyo, former Nigerian Ambassador to Ethiopia, and former member of the House of Representatives. We didn't have time to discuss the crisis in Ethiopia.
That's another issue. War situation. Well, thank you for being with us. Program returns same time, 7 in the morning. Take care of yourselves. I'm Kingsley Osadolo.
And I'm Kirian Kumayo. Thank you for watching.